Yeah. This podcast is brought to you by Primary Arms. Primary Arms seeks to provide the best shopping experience for everything firearms. With over 13,000 products from over 400 top brands, Primary Arms carries a complete selection of rifles, handguns, firearms parts, shooting gear, apparel, and more. Every order comes with a commitment to superior service, backed by fast shipping and an expert support team. Primary Arms, serving freedom since 2008. Find out more at frn.deals/PA. Welcome to the AR-15 podcast. This show is for you if you just bought your first rifle or if you've been building them for years. There is something we can all do to take our black rifles to the next level. My name is Nick Dooley, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Garth Ofer.
How are we doing tonight, bud?
Oh, I'm doing good, bud. I what a good day today. I went out, and this evening it was a fairly nice evening, and I even made it to the range and
Nice.
did that tonight, which I have been on a range like every day for the last 4 days. Now, I didn't shoot at the range 2 days, but
I'm actually pretty close with you. I'm 3 for 4. So, but I also did not shoot for one of them. So, I also made it to the range tonight and was setting in my first rifle of the night, or rechecking zero, I should say, and turned around from my target and looked up and saw a huge plume of smoke and went, "Huh, fire!" And then I looked at my phone and went, "Huh, getting called to fire." And so I made it all the way to Oneida and then got the stand down notification. So then I started cooking burgers and then got recalled to set fire, but I couldn't make it because I had food on. So
fair enough. Those things happen from time to time.
Do.
And no, I went out and was doing I originally had planned to just do some pistol work.
Mm-hmm.
But as things sometimes happen to us, I actually ended up doing a little bit of rifle work as well, because all of the parts and pieces and everything finally came in and the stars aligned. So I have my competition like PCC build finalized now.
Nice. That's solid. I mean, we both missed our first competition, but there's one coming up in May. So
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing special. It's a 16-inch Arrow EPC.
nice.
And 25 meters. It was doing everything you would expect. Last round boat hole pin works, and I was putting bullets in touching. So
You have the Evolver stock on there.
I sure do. I actually really like it.
Man, I want to like it, but I don't. I'll just be honest.
Yeah, there's some training, or there was some hurdles with it and stuff like that, but it works for how my brain works.
Oh yeah.
Of like that, and this is a PCC, so I can grab it and it feels different than my like standard competition rifle.
Yep.
So like I have to do things like that because my brain will be like, oh no, rifle, we go do rifle things.
Yeah, I get it. So why not change it completely and make it something unique? I understand.
Yep, because we've seen what happens when my finger gets stuck.
Yeah. Speaking of build things, I know we touched on it last week a little bit because I had it in the box. Well, I've assembled it since then. And for the viewing audience at home, this is the Steamboat Stinger AR crossbow. And if you guys who are listening on the audio side want to check this out, go check them out at steambow.com. It is a sweet little setup of a gun. Oh, not gun, sorry, crossbow, as you will. I put a Swamp Fox red dot on it. And it's a 6 repeating bolt crossbow. And I don't know, Nick and I had it out to the range on Friday a little bit and zeroed it roughly at 12 yards. And by zero, I mean I can hit a pizza size target at 12 yards.
We're gonna call it a pie plate, like a 6-inch target.
Yeah, we'll go with that. It's definitely something cool to look at and shoot. You can pick one up for about $350. I mean, I read their website and a lot of them were like, you can use this for home defense. I personally would not, but I can also own firearms. So I understand some people out there can't, and this might be a valid option for them. But as far as me goes, it's just total nostalgic, and I'll definitely try to shoot a squirrel with it out my back door someday. I know that for sure.
Yes, it was a remarkably good time. Like that was just a lot of fun.
Well, like Craig said, it brought out our inner child. That's for dang sure.
Yeah.
So
we also brought one other cool thing to the range.
We did
last week when we actually went to the range and shot together, and you may have seen it on our Instagram and Facebook feeds. And that was we got in our PSA Jackal, and I am impressed with it, like very.
Yeah, I was thoroughly impressed with it as well. The amount of no recoil the firearm had was outstanding. I'm sorry if you can hear that. That's my pager going off in the background. But no, I thought it had very minimal recoil, and we compared it next to a AR pistol, and there was substantial amount of recoil difference, and that alone was a really big selling point for me. And then PSA just had released the rifle version the day we showed up to the range, so that is definitely on my list of guns to get. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to continue with this gun of the month club because it's getting expensive, but I know in 2023 I'm going to own a rifle 16-inch Jackal for sure.
No, that they are, and like we're not gonna completely too much about it this week, just because next week we will like here's a what do they call that, a lead in for next week. We will be talking to the good people over at PSA, and or was it a teaser? There we go, teaser. And when doing these things, I can say that when we first pulled it out, there were like, there's a couple issues right away. Like the first mag went, yep, good. Like it got sighted in, and then we went to shooting it. I think we had like 4 failure to feeds.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think it was just a nice little break-in period because we also did several mag dumps and had no issue. So,
well, that was like we ended up putting about 250 rounds through it on Friday, and I mean it's far from a true like, okay, yep, I'll take this like to protect my life. But if it runs the way it has been, it's right there. Like,
yeah, no, it's a solid piece of machinery, and I was kind of skeptical about it when we saw him in shot. I wasn't really sure about it, and then I held it, and I was like, all right, this could be okay. And then we got to shoot it now, and I'm sold.
yeah, you did one of those. Okay, whatever. Dooley's like going off about something.
Yeah, something. Yeah.
Like he found something that whatever.
It happens more than you think out there. So I mean, yeah, it's whatever. But yeah, no, I was like, yeah, this works. This is cool. So
yeah, it's a little bit of a break from the norm.
Yeah.
and it is rather impressive for one, the quality of the build and the accuracy of it. Like, granted, just dialing it in. I have a Trichicon, MRO on top of it, which is a fine optic,
Hmm.
and but it's still just a dot. And putting dime sized groups up out of a 10.5 inch barrel.
Yeah. No, I look forward to shooting it more. We have it for another 40 some days before we have to decide if we want to release it back to them or, find reasons to keep it.
And by reasons, he means pocketbooks.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean.
uh, no, it is neat, but we will be doing a whole episode on that later, and it just fell beside me. So, um, and then yeah, I also was impressed, like I said, with that Arrow EPC, but like it's weird to say just another blowback gun.
Yeah.
Although, while we say just another blowback gun, as I furiously type into the Google machines, NRA annual meeting was this weekend, and they had some things come out that were, kind of unique to them, and they had one thing that they've been posting that is very much so like I have seen this before.
Hmm.
At least it appears that way. Let me go through as I furiously Googled or worked the Brownells website to find this. But I believe you know what it is I'm talking about, Garth. Their 9mm upper.
Yeah. I don't want to get technical. I don't want to be rude. How about that? I can be a jerk when I want to be, but I think you said it best. Someone copied someone's homework.
Oh, here we go. The BRN9. So I'm not saying that anyone copied anyone's homework or anything like that, but I'm just gonna say that I have a Matador Arms Montgo 9, not the Mat 9 yet, but the
Yet.
Montgo 9, and there bears a striking similarity.
Like maybe the stamp is something else than the Matador.
Like it
I
is.
haven't I haven't looked into it. I just saw their Instagram post, and just from that alone, I went, okay. I mean, I get you can only make so many different firearms before there might be similarities out there, but it's kind of like Smith and Wesson doing the break open 9 mil PCC, which has a glaring resemblance to the Keltec Sub 2000. And then this comes out, and I'm like, guys, you can't do that.
Well, like I'm actually kind of all for it because I do love that Montgo 9 I have.
Well,
And
I think that's a sweet gun. Don't get me wrong. I'm 100% in agreement. It just seems like someone,
and this might be something where they're selling their Mat 9s and hey, you guys want this design, so it may be something great on all parties.
it could be. We haven't talked to our friends over at Matador, so we don't know.
But that was just that was something interesting from the another interesting thing from the NRA show.
Yeah, we'll have to ask them about it when we buzz over there this June for a gun con.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely be talking to them. And I am told that it is too late to sign up to go to GunCon.
It is officially closed now.
It is sold out.
Ooh, man. I'm glad we got our tickets.
So, yes, we will be there. It will be fun. And as we've done this, we should really probably start talking about our main topic of the evening.
We could probably do so.
And like I don't have a really fancy like segue tonight, but battle rifles. And I do have a little bit of a backstory for this, or a little bit of a segue I can do.
No, please do.
The battle rifle is the AR-15 in 5.56, like that we all know and love, or 223, however you want to put it. The M16/M4 series of rifle. Is it a battle rifle, Garth?
Yes, but probably not the first one.
No, it is an intermediate rifle.
Okay.
So this is one of those things that would go along with, kind of educating some people. They, people who don't know what they're talking about, or, like a lot of times in the mass media,
Mm.
will talk about like how powerful these assault weapons are.
Yeah.
And the 223 is not, you can't use it in most states to hunt deer.
Okay. I mean, that's probably true. So, but I mean, it was basically to replace them, correct? By
So
Army standards.
it was the idea behind it came out with an intermediate cartridge.
Okay.
And it was because they're changing, like looking at changing how it was that we were going to be doing warfare. And a lot of it had to do with changing the round to, like I said, the previously mentioned intermediate cartridge,
Mm-hmm.
because you can carry more rounds into combat.
Yeah.
And that goes back to like studies done on how many rounds are fired to every enemy combatant hit.
Mm-hmm.
So you go, oh, well, we should just send them in with more ammo.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So they look at it, and McNamara's Whiz Kids got together and said, this is what it should be, because by the percentages we can send them in with 50% more ammo by going to this caliber.
Yeah. Well, now the kids just call them loot drops on the old Xbox and PlayStation. So.
I mean, there's plenty of loot drops out there walking around, but
You're probably not wrong.
so I will read to you from the book of Wikipedia,
Oh, please.
and we'll go through what it is. A battle rifle is a service rifle chambered to fire a full powered cartridge, and it is largely to deter or to differentiate the intermediate assault rifles, such as the AK-47 and the M16, even the AUG, from their full power counterparts, such as an AR-10, FNFAL, the Mark 14 and the G3. So there's a lot of similarities between them, but they don't have that, quote unquote, full power cartridge.
Yeah. Okay.
And like, that's one of those where you start to say like, oh, that's really splitting hairs. But I should have been more prepared for this and had a 308 round and a 223 round laying here, because I mean, I know I have a 308 round.
Well, I mean, give me 2 seconds and I can go find one.
Well, I can do that any time I want as well. I was just going to grab an image here off of the internet because, well, I can.
And so I'm assuming you have a favorite battle rifle of your choosing.
I have a couple.
Okay.
So I am so there you go, for the people watching and not listening, our auditory listeners. You can see just the size difference between 308 and 223 or 5.56. Like, it is a substantial difference in how much
It's you versus the guys you told you not to worry about.
Correct. Well, like my hand loading load, which is a full case,
Yeah.
is 22 grains of powder for my 5.56 loads, and it's 44 grains in my 308 loads.
Yeah.
So it's double the capacity for case capacity. And a 55 grain bullet versus a 150 grain bullet. Like there's a substantial difference in what a battle rifle brings in terms of kinetic energy.
Correct. I agree with that 100%. Because I actually learned, well, I didn't learn that. I just saw that again today. The rifle I was zeroing happened to be my 308 Scar 17, which is the only battle rifle I own because reasons. Just I'm not a long range shooter, but I think everyone should have a gun that can reach out there a little farther than most. And I settled on 308 caliber. I'm a little sad. I don't, I have a Swamp Fox 1 to 10 optic on there, and need to send that scope in because it gets blurry after seventh power on the old zoom there. So
Yep. And scars have a reputation for destroying optics.
yeah, but this one's suppressed, so it's not as bad.
Yep. And so I have a mild obsession with the FNFAL.
Mm-hmm.
I don't own one, and
Do you want to?
it's probably why I'm mildly obsessed with it. It's the whole right arm of the free world thing. Like there's just a part of me that really thinks I should have that. But the rest of me goes, no, 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 man. Remember when you bought that M14? And yeah, I have it. It's in my safe. I drag it out every now and then, and it's more to be like, well, I have one. I even put it in like an accurizing stock,
Mm.
like not a full Sage EBR chassis or anything like that, but it does the things. But
Does things.
it is kind of hard. It was a hard pill to swallow for me at the time because when I bought it, I paid $1,700 for it, or 15 or $1,700, 12 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And 12, 13 years ago, and it was when I was like, I had it, and I was like, all right, I've got this. And you buy something that's close to $2,000, and you're like, all right, man, my old bolt action that I use for hunting every year, like I can pretty much get rounds touching with that. And
Mm-hmm.
then you pull out this, rather expensive rifle, and you can't, you're shooting a 2-inch group,
Yeah.
and
It,
it's what is this shit?
yep. It's uber frustrating when you can use your $400 bolt gun and have a better group and just have a better shooting experience with a cheaper scope on there and the whole works. And then you go out and you pull out this fancy gun that you're like, I have to have it. Like, this is the cat's meow. This is going to make me the greatest shooter in the world. And you can't shoot the gun.
Yep.
I have let more guns go back into the wild because I am just a piss poor shot with them. And I know it's not, the gun. It's just me not putting enough time and effort into, you know, getting this gun focused in and sighted
Oh,
in. But
I'm gonna say 100% 2 MOA out of an M14 or an M1A. That's the gun.
yeah, yeah.
It's oh no, you go through like read all the forums and everything and talk to everyone, and they're like, oh no, man, like if you get down to uh like I did a lot of work to accurize it, and I
Mm-hmm.
I got it down to where it would shoot like with the right ammo, like hand loads that barely cycled it because they did, but it shot them really well.
Yeah.
Then it would Okay, wasn't really super reliable, but that was where I got the accuracy at, and
Mm.
doing a couple tricks that some old guys told me to do, I got it down to shooting 1.25 MOA groups. And that was like, oh man, that's really awesome for that gun.
That's
Now I have after that I built my first AR-10, and I bought an arrow upper and lower,
mm-hmm.
and I put a custom barrel on it. The barrel cost me about as much as everything else did. And I think I had like $1,200 into the rifle, and that thing puts up 3-inch groups at 500 meters. It's like that thing just shoots lights out all day long and is reliable as the day is long. I'm like,
Yeah.
now this is what's supposed to be there. And then I have another AR-10 now because apparently I have a thing for semi-autos and full house.
You do, and it's good on you, man. That gets expensive for me to shoot that much. But hey, power to you.
Well, I say that I also have far more ARs and 223 than anything else, but
Well, yeah, but I mean, you have without giving any numbers away, you have a fair amount of battle rifle.
yeah, I start doing I should do this. Like when I bought a scope instead of just building another rifle out to do, like, I should do this MPVO thing and build this out to test it. And then I realized after I had that all put together and done,
Mm-hmm.
I already had that rifle built with that optic in the works, just sitting beside it in the safe.
Yeah. Just moved that other shotgun, and lo and behold, there was another AR right there.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Not a clue.
So I know that we had talked about before, offline. You said, man, I'm really glad you talked me into keeping that as a battle rifle. And it was when we had that discussion, we were talking about your SCAR
Yep.
because you're like, it's just not as accurate as I would think it is. And it's one of those like, it's a battle rifle. It's made to shoot man-sized targets.
Well, yes, and I will agree with that because that's what I have out at my range. Is I have those full body IPSC targets, and I was having no problem driving from 50 all the way to 300 today, and then it was a little windy, and then other factors were playing in. I couldn't find the 350, but at 300 yards all day long, when I can watch that steel move first, and then I can hear the ring on it, man, I'm tickled with that shot. I'm not a pinpoint tack driver guy, but if I can see a full IPSC target move at 300 yards, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, and that's where, like, in talking about the battle rifle and the battle rifle concept and kind of why we went away from it was, if you look at, the time we had it, we went, America's semi-auto battle rifles was, the granddaddy of them all,
Mm-hmm.
the M1 Garand. And then we went from that to the M14, even though it should have been the FAL. But we went with the M14, and then we went right after that into the M16. And I mean, there were a ton of M14s produced, and they didn't last long. They kept, they're still in service. There's still people. They broke them out for the GWAT, and they put optics on them and different chassis, and they're like, okay, guys, we need to start hitting stuff further away. But when we were getting off of the concept of the battle rifle, we just completed World War II, in World
Yeah.
War One, which was, here's a big front line of an army, and we're more or less attacking across the field. And so it's, well, no, we need to be able to hit targets at 300 to 600 meters.
Mm-hmm.
Open country warfare. And then, we went to Korea and Vietnam and said, hey man, this jungle like sucks. And when
This gun is heavy.
yeah, this gun's heavy, and when the trees start talking, uh,
Yeah.
but we get into that, and then we went away from it and went to the M16 family, which obviously was the AR,
Mhm.
and all these things went through, and they're a super solid reason behind them. And then even now, you started to see the military go back towards a battle rifle footing with the new SIG, 277 Fury 6.8 by 51,
Mhm.
however you want to put it. They are adopting some limited runs of battle rifles again.
Yep. But that's
And
more for like the special forces guys and stuff like that.
well, it's not even for them. It's for the what they call like close combat. So it's infantry and engineers,
Oh, okay.
and everyone else they say is still going to run around with the good old M4 because, well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And we could talk about how some things have changed with that, with the advent of some of the piston systems and how all those things have gone.
But
But
Tyler's not here.
he does love his piston guns. He does. Although now I have one that I love as well.
Well, yes, and it's yeah.
But we will argue long stroke versus short stroke. And
That's
I am
fine.
a fan of the long stroke.
Sorry, I didn't want to squirrel you there.
No, you're fine. You're fine. So what's your favorite battle rifle then, Garth?
I've actually owned a variety of 308s in my life. Um, I've owned a few 6.5s, but 308 I think is my jam, honestly. And the Scar is nice, but you know me, I let things go and then find new things quicker than most. That new Ruger that just recently came out. That what's that called? Dang it.
SA or SFAR.
Yeah, the Safari or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
is that how they say it?
It stands for small frame AR-10.
Yeah, that I think is incredible. I think that could be the missing link people have been looking for. I haven't shot one yet. I'd like to try one out because I'd like to see what the recoil is on something like that with a larger frame, bullet versus the smaller frame firearm.
Yep, and they really did great work at, for lack of a better term, shoehorning
Yeah,
that round into what is ostensibly an AR frame.
yeah, no, it's a really cool concept. But I mean, if we're going to talk about the only one I have, that Scar 17 is a fantastic shooting gun. I just need to hone my skill with it a little bit better and find a scope that works for me. It'd really be helpful if some of these shooting apps would be able to download again too. But that's here nor there. I mean, that's just finding the right things that piece together. So
Oh yes. Oh yes. Now you actually let go of what might be my favorite uh AR-10 on the market right now.
which one was that?
That SIG 716i.
Oh yeah, yep. I know the guy who has it. I don't think he's going to let it go.
Oh, you don't think so?
Well, I mean, everything's for sale. So
No, I really think that's one of the best values I've seen people do a lot of really good things with those.
Hmm.
So I just can't help but think that it's a solid like look at how they should be built.
Yeah. No, it was a solid gun, solid design. It was more about uh, a name and a nostalgic purpose for me when I bought the 308 because you know me, I'm not really a big caliber guy. It was more like, oh, this is in my safe, fantastic. I'll bring it out every 6 months and I'll shoot it and I'll wow some people at the range and then they'll actually watch me shoot with it and go, oh yeah, that guy. So
I don't know what you're talking about.
so but you kind of do because I own this guy right here. This right here should be a good indication to anyone listening. I own an AR crossbow. I buy stupid shit.
He does.
Not even gonna deny
He's a big dumb animal, isn't he, folks?
it.
Uh, but no, I know that I have really liked a couple of those that you or that's the only one I've ever been around was that one you had,
Hmm.
and I thoroughly enjoyed that rifle and really thought that it was somewhat underrated.
Yeah, we'll have to do a test on that. I have to call him up and see if he'll want him. Coincidentally, he's my neighbor to the north at the farm. So, and if only we had a guy up north and a guy down south and a guy at the west, we could just call up and test a few of those out.
That would be really strange.
Weird. Guess we'll have to
Yeah.
make that happen this summer.
I would be willing to bet that we can relatively easily.
Mm, that's something gonna happen. So yeah, dude. I don't know. As far as it goes, though, I again the 308, not knocking it. It's a solid thing, and a lot of guys really enjoy the battle rifles and the. But I mean, for me, it's just the expense of it all, and that's why I'm not really into them as much as some people like yourself are. I just I know where I stand in shooting, and I don't want to blow that kind of money on a gun like that. It's fun to have, but I'm not going to overload my shelves with overpriced ammo and magazines and guns. Even though I have a scar, so again I keep saying that because I realize that how expensive that gun can be. Thankfully, I got it at a discount. So
Yep, it helps when you know a guy.
yeah, you're
But
the guy.
I knew a guy. You knew a guy who knew a guy.
I knew a
So
guy who knew a guy. Yes.
how that one worked out.
Yep.
But you know what? Probably the best feature of for sure the AR-10s is, and maybe even the Scar, because I've never tried to do this on a Scar,
Mm.
but changing out grips and stuff like that, because then you can order VZ grips. And VZ grips are great because they're made from G10 and a solid block of G10 at that. The unique features of AR grips is they're machined from a solid block of G10, and that's great because it's durable and doesn't get slippery when covered with mud, blood, or sweat. The 17-degree grip angle and wide variety of textures from mild to extreme and color options available. Shorty versions are also available. 1911 grips, Beretta grips, revolver grips, extreme customizability, standard slim palm swells, thumb notches, safety cuts, bottom profiles, and more. More than 25 textures and 27 colors to choose from. This coupon code is good for 15% off all handgun grips, and that code is AR-15 podcast.
I actually did switch my grip out today, and I was gonna switch it to the VZ grip, but I believe if you look to your left, that's exactly where my second VZ grip is.
It sure is,
So
and I put I have a VZ grip on my PCC, and I don't believe there's any blood hanging off of that, but
yeah,
It is definitely one of the more extreme ones, and I love it.
It's yeah, the texture of that grip is insane. I again, I can't stress it enough. It's like gluing sandpaper to your hand.
Yeah, only more pointy.
Yeah, only more pointy. Yeah, exactly. So no, I actually put a different AR grip on there today, and it fits enough, but you can definitely tell it's not built for that gun. But I had to color coordinate because reasons. So
Well, and the scar is 50 shades of FDE, so
it is, and that's why I went with an OD green to really throw in the difference. Threw some OD green scope rings on there and that, and a couple other things. Yeah, it looks sharp.
I'm sure it does.
Yep, and that's exactly why I wanted a gun because I want it for the look. How's the
That
shoot? Don't know. Couldn't tell you. I've never shot it, but it's in the safe. It looks damn good.
I have a friend that tried to do that with a battle rifle.
Yeah.
I refused to build it for him.
Oh, I'm talking about Matt.
No,
Okay, good.
no, we're talking about Paul.
Oh, that guy. Yeah, he's an idiot too.
No, he wound up relenting and okay, fine, because he was going to just have a wall hanger AR, and I was like, we're not building an AR and not at least test firing it.
Yeah, that's exactly where I'm at right now. I'm in the process of building a firefighter gun, and I'm like, man, what scope should I put on there? I mean, it's got to be functional, but at the same time, I'm not going to shoot it. So,
Yeah, it's one I was like, you have to shoot it like
well,
at
yeah,
least a couple times.
that's the whole point of this gun is because I want to put it in a shadow box, and then on the glass, I want to put in case of tyranny break glass because I think it's ironic. But I'm like, well, I better at least make sure it's functional and go sight it in at least before I hang it.
Yeah. And his was a 308 with "We the People" on the side, which he was going to put with his "We the People"
Oh
1911s.
yeah, I remember that one now. Yeah, that he did. Yeah, he did let that one go. Okay, well, maybe I'll have to talk him back into it.
Well, now he shoots. He shoots it.
Well, not well that one, but he still wants a shadow box gun.
Yeah.
So
Well, shadow box guns are fine.
yeah,
I have guns that are more or less shadow box guns.
a few, but they still live in your safe. So
Yeah. And apparently my safe is a dangerous place to be for guns.
it's a horrible place, man. I've seen so many people walk in and look at your gun safe and then walk out knowing they never needed a gun before in their life or that specific one. And then that's all they talk about for 6 months.
Hey, it's bigger than you think.
It's the closet to Narnia. Narnia of guns.
Well, and it's a big safe to begin with.
It's a massive safe. I'm so thankful I never had to help move that thing into your basement.
Yeah, I don't think I think if I ever move, it's definitely gonna have to stay with the house.
Oh yeah, you just get that. Not the contents, just the safe.
Yeah, you guys go from there. Well, Garth, as we keep going here, I think we might have kind of beat battle rifles up a little bit, or not really beat them up. We got into the concept a little bit, and the battle rifle concept is there, and it's solid. It is good, and well, I'll send you some pics later, Thomas. Don't worry. But in getting through the rest of this, I know that one of the other major things that people kind of like to have the battle rifle concept for
Hmm.
is much like the same reason people like having you know a 5.7 or something like that.
Yeah.
A 5.7 can allegedly defeat body armor. 308s, a lot of armor is not rated for 308.
That is correct.
And
But I mean, if people needed to find armor, I mean,
they would probably look at Predator armor.
yeah.
Do you want to keep you and your loved ones safe in this uncertain times? Are you looking for a full kit setup or just to upgrade what you already have? Then look no further than Predator armor. Quality armor made here in America, from lightweight, flexible backpack armor to full plate carriers with plates. IFAX tuned and set up for you. Predator armor has it all. Use code AR-15 10 for 10% off.
Now, it's not that I want to beat up battle rifles by any means. I think they serve a purpose, and I'm not trying to discourage anyone from not owning one. Myself, I'm not a huge fan. I own one out of several guns I own, and it's a cool concept. It allows me to shoot accurately at a greater distance than I can with my 5.56. Although I have a couple bolt guns that I know I can take 600 yards all day long. So, and those are also T23. So,
yeah, well, it's like I have the battle rifles that I would have no problem going well beyond 600 meters.
mm-hmm.
And I just know that I do not want to have plates vibe checked by a 308.
No, and that was my next point is, I mean, if you're using the gun for the concept of it, what we're talking about engagements of 300 men.
Yeah.
And you're exactly right. I don't want to feel like my chest just got caved in because some guy saw me standing around looking like a moron going, I don't know where they're at.
Well, hopefully no one ever has to have that happen, but that's a ton of kinetic energy that's going out when you have that hit.
Oh, it might happen. I was watching Fox News before we jumped on, man. Elon Musk was on there talking about AI. Skynet's coming, dude.
Ah, yes, Skynet. People didn't learn anything from the Terminator.
Sure didn't. Not at all.
Oh. So, anything else to add? Anybody else we should talk about?
No, not necessarily.
Other than the good folks over at Patriot Patch.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, today I'm not being a good rep of the company because the patch I have on my microphone today is not from Patriot Patch. But all of the rest of them here, what's that?
I love that patch.
Yes, all of the rest of them here I have are, as they sit around, I have my director of rooftop operations, and here's one of the stickers from the Patch of the Month Club from March. Our Luck of the Irish girl holding her Armalite AR-18. And
I was a super fan of the Patch of the Month last month. Or this month, April. Yeah, we're in April, right? Yeah, we're in April.
Sure.
We'll trade for eggs.
Yes.
So.
Yes. So go check out the good folks over at Patriot Patch, patriotpatch.co. And Garth, where can they find us?
They can find us on the radiofirearms.net. That's the
firearmsradio.net?
Firearms Radio? Radio Firearms.
Firearmsradio.net.
That's what I said, didn't I?
No, you said Radio Firearms.
Damn it. I'm sorry. I have dyslexia. Leave me alone.
That's fine. Just Google AR-15 podcast and find the Firearms Radio Network.
Yes, that's what we need to do. But if they want to reach out to us, they can hit us up at AR-15podcast 2.0 at gmail.com. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. We're on Spotify now. That's awesome. We're on iTunes, obviously. So we're on pretty much any platform you can find us on. We're on YouTube. So, I mean, we're everywhere.
We are.
No, I'm sorry. I was just going off. I apologize.
That's all right. Well, I don't really have much to add between or after Garth's amazing rant there.
Yeah.
I
give up and try again next week.
Well, we're not going to give up because we never quit here. But we will definitely be back again next week to keep on keeping on.
Talking about the Jackal. Can't wait.
Yep. So with that, you folks out there, stay safe and stay armed. Do you want to support the show? Subscribe and interact on social media. AR-15 Podcast on Instagram and YouTube. AR-15 Podcast on Facebook. AR-15 Podcast 2.0 at gmail.com if you just want to drop us a line. Find us online at firearmsradio.net. Click through our sponsors and support the people who support our show. Primary Arms, VZ Grips, Predator Armor, TacPack, and Patriot Patch Company.